You think Elon Musk is rich? With a net worth hovering around 200 billion, sure, he's the wealthiest man on Earth. But let's be real. Compared to what's floating right above our heads, that is just chump change. According to analysts at Goldman Sachs and astrophysicists like Neil deGrasse Tyson, the world's first trillionaire won't be the guy who builds the next social media app. He won't be a hedge fund manager, and he definitely won't be a Bitcoin trader. The first trillionaire is going to be a miner, but he won't be digging in the dirt in Nevada or Australia. He'll be a space miner. Welcome to the space economy. Today, we are breaking down a multi-quadrillion-dollar industry that is quietly leaving the launch pad. Will bringing space gold back to Earth turn your wedding ring into worthless scrap metal? And more importantly, who is going to control the ultimate monopoly? Let's dive in. Let's talk numbers, because they are frankly ridiculous. Orbiting between Mars and Jupiter is a massive chunk of metal called 16 Psyche. NASA believes the core of this thing is packed with iron, nickel, and enough precious metals to make Fort Knox look like a piggy bank. If you cashed out 16 Psyche at today's market rates, it's worth an estimated $10,000 quadrillion. Do the math. If we split that evenly among every person on Earth, you, me, and your neighbor would all be billionaires overnight. But hold on. Don't quit your day job just yet. It's not just about the gold. What Silicon Valley is actually drooling over are platinum group metals. Why? Because they are the backbone of the modern economy. We need them for EV batteries, hydrogen fuel cells, and advanced processors. On Earth, mining this stuff destroys the environment and costs a fortune. In space, it's pure, it's abundant, and it's just floating there, waiting to be grabbed. This isn't sci-fi anymore. Venture capital firms are already pouring millions into startups like Asteroid and Planetary Resources. It's the California gold rush of 1849 all over again. But this time, the pickaxes are reusable rockets. Okay, the money is there, but how do we get it? For the last 50 years, we had one major enemy: gravity. It used to cost $50,000 to put 1 kilogram of payload into orbit. That's a deal breaker. But thanks to SpaceX and the Starship program, that cost is plummeting toward $100 a kilo. That is the game changer. Now, forget what you saw in the movie Armageddon. We aren't sending oil drillers to save the world. Sorry, Bruce Willis. The future of mining is autonomous robotics. Here's the playbook. 1. Prospecting. Spectral satellites scan the rocks for the highest ROI, return on investment. 2. Harvesting. Swarms of solar-powered robots land, anchor themselves in low gravity, and use concentrated heat to vaporize the rock. 3. Refining. This is key. You don't bring raw rocks home. You refine them in orbit and only ship back the pure product. Or better yet, use 3D printers to build spacecraft components right there in the void. Now let's hit the brakes and look at the economics. This is where it gets messy. What happens if a company brings 1,000 tons of gold back to Earth tomorrow? Supply and demand 101. Supply skyrockets, price crashes. If gold becomes as common as aluminum, the global economy and the currency reserves of entire nations could implode. So the first space trillionaire won't flood the market. They will play the Dabida's game. They will create artificial scarcity, dripping the supply slowly to keep prices high. Or maybe they won't bring it back at all. The most valuable asset in space isn't gold, it's water. Break water down and you get hydrogen and oxygen. That's rocket fuel. If you control the ice on the moon or asteroids, you control the gas stations of the solar system. Any ship wanting to go to Mars has to buy gas from you. That is the real monopoly. That is how you become a trillionaire.
Here is the kicker. Who owns space? The Outer Space Treaty of 1967 says no nation can claim sovereignty over a celestial body. But it has a massive loophole. It doesn't explicitly ban private companies or resource extraction. The US government already passed the law in 2015 basically saying finders keepers. If an American company mines it, they own it. So here is a question for the comments section. If a mega corporation sets up a base on Mars and says Earth laws don't apply here, who is going to stop them? Are we heading toward a future where CEOs have more power than presidents? A real-life cyberpunk dystopia?
Space mining isn't just about greed. It could be the only way to save Earth. Imagine moving all heavy industry and polluting factories off-world. Earth becomes a residential zone, a garden. But the cost, a wealth gap so wide it spans the solar system. The first trillionaire is coming, probably within the next 20 years. Will they be the visionary that saves our planet, or the ultimate monopolist holding the keys to the future? Let me know what you think. Should space be a free-for-all, or do we need new laws before it's too late? If you enjoyed this deep dive, smash that like button and subscribe for the next episode of The Space Economy, where we'll talk about real estate on Mars, the ultimate scam. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.